former championship contender John Moraga will be meeting Sergio Pettis. The 23-year-old Sergio Pettis has returned to the flyweight division, 2-1 thus far since returning to 125 pounds. He will also have a 3-inch reach advantage against John Moraga, who has lost his last two. Seems two guys that have been going in different directions, with Pettis having won his last two as well. First of all, Sergio Pettis, he's only 23 years of age, but he has now 7 fights inside of the UFC, which I think is invaluable for someone at that age. Have you liked this return to flyweight, which many felt was the weight class for Pettis when he first came to the UFC?
Yeah, I think a lot of fighters, especially when the UFC's 125-pound division opened up, if you're a 135-pound fighter and you were small, 25 was the division for you. A couple of wins, and you're fighting for a UFC championship. As you know, I've always been a fan of fighters that are willing to move back up and move between weight classes. And I think Sergio Pettis could be one of those guys. But I think right now 125 pounds makes a lot of sense. But there's a ton of pressure on Sergio Pettis. Yes, we know about his pedigree and we know about his skill set. But he was supposed to make a huge splash in the UFC already. And conversely, for John Moraga, you know, he's talking about retirement in mixed martial arts. I think for John, and I feel bad because you look at 125 pounds, Demetrius Johnson's at the top of that division, top of that list. And if you look at the top 10, they're all legitimate guys. It's going to be very, very difficult to win 3 fights in a row if you're at 125 pounds. So if you're John Moraga, you don't worry about what's happening on Monday. You go in there, be free to do your thing, and take it to this young fighter who, you know, is many people believe could be a future champion based on what we've seen from his brother Anthony Pettis and everything that they produce there at Rufus Sport.
These, quote, easy divisions, these ones where you only need a win or two to get to the top, the women's 115, the men's 125, women's divisions in general, they become dense very quickly as the athletes start to stampede towards them because they know they can get a shot at the title. This has now changed. Moraga finds himself down at 10. This is Sergio's opportunity. Interesting dynamic. Moraga wants it to be man versus boy. He wants that vibe in there. He wants to feel like he's beating a young guy up and little brother him a little bit. And Sergio wants this to be skill versus grit because this guy is gritty. This guy's tough. This guy's rugged. And if he makes the fight about that, if he makes it about heart and grit and, quote, who wants it more, that's great for him. But if Sergio keeps it out of that, makes him chase Sergio, doesn't get into these territories where you're getting squashed and ground out, Sergio's going to have the right approach. I think this is a fight for Sergio Pettis to win. You know, some of his highlights when you look at it, the way that he is, the angles he's moving out on now as you come forward, the way he's drawing guys into space, the way he's slipping and countering, man, Sergio Pettis right now is getting better and better in the open space. Chris Kalaitis is a grinder, man. He is a dangerous, dangerous top grinder. Look at him. Just drawing him in, making him miss, keeping the space, countering. This kid is really, really coming into his own right now, and this is a nice-looking fight for him.
How important is it that Sergio Pettis frustrates John Moraga in this fight? Because every time John Moraga misses, he's going to be more frustrated and constantly moving forward. Does that play right into the hands of Sergio?
100%. It's the grittier you are, the tougher you are, the more you're like, when something doesn't go your way, you double down and go after it. Those are the guys that are victimized by the draw and counter guys, by the push and pull guys. So you want it more, you chase it even harder, you bite down and you start to really show your hand a little bit, and that's when you get picked apart. So Moraga's going to have a tough test here. He needs to stay icy cool in this fight, and that's not going to be easy to do.
Doesn't Moraga want a dogfight because of his background, because of the nature of the person that he is? He would love to stand in the middle and slug with you. And I think if Sergio Pettis decides to do that, that's when Moraga can flip the script, grab a hold of him, and grind him down.
I think the key to it is stand in the middle and trade with you. If you're Moraga, you need Sergio Pettis to be right there in front of you. And instead, Sergio Pettis is over here, and as you move now, he's over there, and then you move towards him. That's the game of manipulation that Sergio Pettis will want to play with Moraga. Have him flat-footed, you know, play with range, play with timing, make him chase. If he gets drawn into these exchanges, and you see him do very well with the smart trick, just like that. Back up, draw him in, maintain the space between you. But you've seen that he's got a grappling game, but why play it with Moraga? You feel like you could sharpshoot him, you want to sharpshoot him.
You can catch Sergio Pettis and John Moraga on Sunday, and then the following day, it is Ask Robin Black, and what is on tap?
Yeah, it's going to be a really, really fun thing. Ask Robin Black is a new podcast that I've been working on. And after every big show we do it, you hit me up on Twitter, Robin Black MMA, and you include the hashtag Ask Robin Black. You ask me any questions, I will answer them. Any general questions, ask them now, send them in. Me and Chase Kaiser will look them over. And if you want to ask questions during the show about specific parts about the fights, we will answer those Monday morning, hashtag Ask Robin Black.